Cults of Zahak is live on Kickstarter now. Welcome to the Black Lodge Games immersive actual play of Cults of Zahak. We begin in the mythical city of Avaloch, the jewel of mankind. King Gareth Beresford has been on crusade for 6 years, and in his absence, the social fabric of Avaloch is becoming frayed. Rumors of dark entities walking the streets at night have put fear in the hearts of the city folk. Thousands of pilgrims making their way to the city's holy site have been denied entrance for months, and criminal syndicates are beginning to prey upon the people as the authorities are stretched thin. We find ourselves in one of the marketplaces of Avaloch. Thomas and Aaron have been tending their father's butcher shop since he left for the Crusades, and for the second time in a month, the blackguards of the almsgivers have come to shake down the marketplace and claim its goods for themselves. The streets of this once safe neighborhood are about to run red with blood.
You know what we're here for, boy. Don't make the same mistake you did last month. Let us have it and it'll all be over quickly.
We're not going to let you take it this time. We're tired of this. Every time you come, you're like a plague here. You take from this neighborhood and you line your pockets with our hard work. No more.
Sorry you see it that way. And he moves to push you aside.
As he does, Aaron, the elder, has this very long, sharp butcher's knife used for shearing meat off of the bone. And he basically pulls that from behind his back and lunges in.
All right.
We're going to roll initiative?
We're going to roll initiative.
All right. So I am controlling 2 characters right now because maybe one of them will die. We don't know. We're both. But I am playing Aaron and Thomas, the 2 boys of the butcher's son. They are going to roll initiative. My tens die is going to be Aaron, and this the ones die is going to be Thomas. Okay, so Aaron got a 1, bringing his initiative to 12, and Thomas got a 4, bringing his 15.
And I'm controlling 3 characters. Excellent. 9, 7. 2 9s and a 7. Thomas will go first.
All right, Thomas, being the younger, who's actually a little bit more hot-headed, he's brought not a long, pointy, sharp knife. He's got an actual, like, butcher's cleaver. These guys have been terrorizing our neighborhood. They beat the f*** out of us a little while ago, maybe like 2 weeks past. He's still got a black eye, and he's done with it. So he's the leader, the one that's come through, the one that really delivered the beating to us last time. He's coming in with the cleaver and gonna just try and brain him with it. So he's gonna be rolling his combat style, which I believe is a 37, excuse me, a 37 or below is what I need to succeed.
And these men have all brandished cudgels. They were ready to do some business, and so this man's gonna attempt to parry you.
All right. I got a 40. Which is a failure on my part. I am, however, going to spend a luck point because having brought lethal force to this, the boys may be in trouble. All right, so burning a luck point to re-roll. 51. All right, not going to happen.
Okay.
We'll leave that there.
I, however, got a 30, which is enough for me. So with 1 degree of success over you, Thomas brandishes the knife coming up from behind a butcher block. He grabs you by the arm, and he's going to inflict accidental injury.
Damn it. All right.
You are going to roll your normal damage dice against yourself to a random hit location.
All right. This cleaver, I believe, is going to be 1d6. That is a 2. Okay, and for the hit location, a d20 roll. A 5 is going to be a hit in the right leg.
So he grabs you by the right arm, yanks your arm, tearing the tendons of the shoulder down, plunging the blade into your upper thigh.
Damn. All right. That is a minor wound for me. So while it hurts and I do yowl in pain, it's not enough to stop me.
All right.
Who's next?
The head man pushing past Aaron, moving to take command of the situation, to get what's theirs, whether you want it or not. And he is going to attempt to bludgeon Aaron, blocking the way with the cudgel upside the side of the head.
All right.
We'll see. if that's successful.
That was an action point off of Thomas. And an action point off of Aaron now, because Aaron is going to parry with this knife. A 14. I do indeed parry.
So we are at mutual levels of success. I succeeded, you succeeded. And because the cudgel your assailant is wielding is the same weapon size as this cleaver, this blade that you have, neither the attacker nor defender get advantage on each other, so no damage is inflicted.
All right, yeah, so the cudgel comes in, and then I just knock that out of the way.
You don't want to do this, boy.
I'm not saying anything in response. There's just like, he's like, Aaron, for as smart as he is, he knows exactly what they've done. They brought this into a deadly confrontation, and he's like shaking almost with fear. And
it is Aaron's turn.
All right. Aaron, having 3 action points, is going to get to attempt to attack him again. So he's bringing in the knife and going to try to hit this main guy. With a 30, that is a success for me.
And the main guy is going to attempt to parry you.
Okay.
15.
All right, so he does indeed parry.
So the same exchange happens. This guy means business, and he's clearly not just a street ruffian or a homeless person co-opted or conscripted into the service of these foul almsgivers. And once again, the blade meets with that thick wood, but not into flesh.
All right.
Not yet. There are, unfortunately, 2 others. The one that Thomas attempted to swing wildly at, and a third individual who pushes forward past you and the main individual here, past the stall, and both of them are going to try and clobber Thomas to get that livestock.
All right.
So 1 first. 83, not enough. Will Thomas attempt to evade or parry?
Not this one.
Okay. Second. All wielding cudgels.
Yeah.
35, that'll do it.
So he, seeing this second one, like he kind of evades the first one, and seeing this other one coming in with the cudgel, he's bringing up his cleaver trying to parry this.
They're coming in meaning to wreck house.
14. All right.
How about
Once
that?
Again, stops it with the blade of the cleaver.
Excellent.
So Thomas is out of action points. Aaron still has 1.
Okay. Well, we're at the top of the round, not the top
of the round, but we are at the top of the initiative order then.
We're at the top of the initiative order again. Those who still have action points, which in your case,
Aaron does. He has 1 action point remaining.
Aaron does. The headman does not. You are next.
All right. Once again with the knife, attempting to stab this guy, pierce him with it, show him I mean business.
He is out of action points, so he cannot defend.
All right. So I succeed on a 23, which is going to give me 1 level of success. I am going to impale him. I have to roll for the hit location. The hit location of 13 is going to be the left arm. Is he wearing armor?
He is wearing a gambesson. All 3 men are wearing gambesson, so his arms, torso, and abdomen are all armored. Legs are not.
Okay, so my knife is going to do 1d4 plus 1 damage. I don't have a damage modifier, so we'll see if I penetrate his armor. Then I'm going to impale him. So 3 damage.
That is enough. Gambesson is 2.
I think so.
2 armor. Yeah. So you've inflicted 1 point of damage to his left arm.
His left arm, correct.
His left arm, but more importantly, you've impaled him.
Right. Yeah. So it's like we've just had this exchange, knocked each other's blows out of the way, and as he's still trying to push past, comes in with the knife and just jams, and it goes straight through his fucking bicep. And not letting go of the handle, but I cannot pull that out until my next turn.
Got it.
All right, and that is my 3rd action point. Thomas already used a luck point. There we go. All right.
The second of the third had to parry against Thomas. He is out of action points. The third and final individual coming up from behind still has 1 left, and he is going to go in once again for Thomas.
Okay, Thomas cannot defend. He has no action points.
Got it.
68 was what that was.
68. 68 will not have been enough, unfortunately. Now they're in the crowded back room behind the stall. it's very difficult to maneuver. There's 5 people in here.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to get in. The cudgel comes down on the butcher block, the loud thud ringing out, but not enough. Thomas moving out of the way at the last minute. And that is out of action points for him and for all of the assailants. And I believe we're at the top of the round now.
Which
everyone's action points have been replenished.
And if I'm correct in my memory, that should mean Thomas is going to be
You
first.
are correct.
As he is once again, he's got 3 of them on him, correct?
He has 2 of them on him.
He has 2 on him.
And Aaron has 1.
Okay. So as he's doing this, he's like shouting like, "Help, boys, help, anyone!" And he is, again, he's a little more hot-headed, so he's going straight in on the first one that came to attack him. With a 34, which is a success.
And I will try and parry now because my action points are replenished, but a 76 will not do it.
Okay. He is going to, again, knowing that since we brought the fucking knives out, this is serious, and there's no going back at this point. So he is going to maximize damage with a special effect, and I'm going to have to roll for location.
20.
That's the head. 20 is the head. The cleaver comes down, boom, right on his dome.
Oof.
For 6 points of damage, maximized. He has no damage modifier.
No damage modifier.
Right. How many hit points this guy got? Is it enough to...
Not enough to remain conscious.
Get fucked.
He will make an endurance
roll against my 34. He has to beat my 34, my original attack. 2, you.
And yet it's more gruesome.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, somehow, this guy remains conscious. The meat cleaver coming down into the cranium. Perhaps not striking fully into the brain itself, but top of the ear is lopped off. The blood coming down in dark rivulets, not spurting, but just oozing down a curtain of blood. And this wicked cleaver meant to do exactly what it's doing right now. The pigs don't usually fight back, but today they are. Nevertheless, thick blood oozing, the sounds of bubbling mucus as your cleaver is cut into the sinuses.
Oh, man.
Just foulness, his eyes are bugging out, yet somehow he's able to remain conscious. God knows what he'll do next.
Right. He will, however... he's conscious, but he's basically out of the action for I think 6 of his turns.
That is true.
Which is not the full.
It will not
6
stop
rounds.
him from flailing, but it will stop him from being efficacious.
Yeah, but then so Thomas is like, whoa, like.
And Thomas has never done this to someone else before.
No, and so he yanks the cleaver out of it. And like he almost starts to feel a little bit sick and like goes white.
Yeah.
But the adrenaline is pumping, things are moving. Who's next in initiative order?
That's going to be the leader who has a knife in his bicep at this point, I believe.
Yes, that's right. Left arm.
It's in my arm at the moment, which means I am disadvantaged. But nevertheless, of course, given the circumstances, I'm gonna fight back wildly. 6.
All right. You're fighting back against Aaron, I believe, who has his hand still on that and is pierced. Aaron, let's see. I have my hand on my weapon. I can't really parry with that. I am going to try to do an unarmed parry on this to try and grab, stop his arm from coming in.
Yeah.
I have to beat a 6, so it's probably not going to happen. Well, I actually don't need to beat a 6. I just need to succeed on my combat style.
You just need to succeed.
Aaron's combat style is higher. It is, I believe, a 54. A 54. So, trying to stop the man. Rolls a 40. So he manages to stop him, that thing from coming in, and I believe there's no damage here. I could be wrong about this, but I believe that there's not a big enough gap in the weapon size, or it's half. I'll leave that up to you.
Correct. So at this point, given you don't have a weapon per se, he's going to do half damage to you. We will see what that is. 4 damage.
4 damage. And for those of you wondering why he rolled that die twice, is that this big motherfucker that I'm fighting right now has a damage modifier. He is big enough that not only does he do his weapons damage, but he does additional damage into that.
Correct.
Which I believe was what, like a D3 or something?
The D2.
D2. Okay.
D2 minus something.
Which location do you hit me in?
Excellent question. 18.
Ooh, that is the right arm. So that's my arm that has the knife through his.
So that is appropriate. So you let go for a brief moment of the blade. As the cudgel comes down, going initially for the top of your head, you grab the cudgel as it comes down. You feel the bones shake and the tendons begin to strain, and it hurts. It hurts.
Yeah.
You've taken the impact, but there's still some internal damage, and no doubt some soft tissue bruising on the palm.
However, this is a minor wound in my case. It did not meet or it did not exceed my hit points. Did not hit 0 in that location. So while it hurts, I'm still in action here. And so that was an action point off of Thomas for his attack, and that's an action point off of Aaron for parrying.
Correct. And now it is Aaron's turn.
All right, Aaron, still with that knife in, is just going to yank that out. So this is going to be, if he's resisting, trying to stop me from pulling this out of him, it's going to be a contested roll between, or an opposed roll between us of unarmed skill. Otherwise, I only have to succeed on my unarmed roll to do so.
He will not resist.
Okay, so I'm going to do an unarmed roll. My unarmed skill is 39. I have to do a 39 or lower. I got a 51. However, I'm going to spend an action point to, or not an action point, a luck point from Aaron to re-roll that because we really, really need this to go our way. And it's a 96. Well, okay. So that's that. The knife stays in.
For better or for worse.
Yeah.
Worse for you in some cases, but also continuing to hinder this man as well.
Right. And so that was an action point to do that. I have 1 remaining for Aaron, 1 remaining for Thomas.
Excellent. There's one left who was on Thomas. Seeing his compatriot with the cleaver still at the top of the skull, absolutely horrified, takes a brief moment in wide-eyed shock at how deadly things have become, how unexpected. And he is going to go for Thomas.
Okay.
More out of shock and rage at this point than anything else.
And Thomas is going to attempt to parry this.
Okay.
Let me get my D20 out of there.
41, which is a failure on my part.
Okay, so that's a failure. If I succeed on a 37 or below, then I will get special effects. And I got a 76, unfortunately.
Okay, so
however, I am going to spend his last luck point, which, by the way, this is a big risk because if I take a major wound, which would basically be lights out, I don't have a luck point at this point to save myself. So we're going to re-roll this. Try again. 38, which is above my skill. I still fail. All right.
Both of you in the melee, and now with this nigh unconscious man flailing, the nerve impulses firing, the limbs jerkily moving around as he slumps onto the butcher block. It's absolute chaos. Difficult for either of you to gain purchase. And we are at the top of the initiative order. If anyone has any action points left.
Aaron has 1 action point left. And he is, again, going to try to remove that blade from the bicep, severing it even more, causing more damage as the blade comes out of it. He rolled an 84. I'm going to do one more time, a luck point, see if I can get out of this. They're in dire straits now. A 38. That is a success.
Okay.
Okay. I believe. Let me check his skill. Barely a success. I have a 39.
Things are going, at the moment, far bloodier for them than for you, but that can change very quickly.
This is when you are removing the blade from an impale, it's going to do half the damage that it normally does. So I'm going to roll 1d4 plus 1, and then we'll cut it in half. So that's going to be 3, so we'll call it 2 if we round up. All right, 2 points of damage to his left arm. Now, is that a serious wound at this point? That's a total of, I think, 5 that I've done to him?
That is a serious wound to him. Yeah. So he also needs to make an endurance roll to prevent that limb This isn't the head, abdomen, or torso. He's not at risk of going unconscious yet, but that limb may be rendered useless.
Right.
15.
15. He succeeds. All right. So his limb is not useless, but he's seriously messed up.
Yes. The blood pouring over the floor, mixing in with the offal and the residue of the business that your family is involved in.
Yeah. The
All
animal,
too similar, and yet
the sense of the meat that's been out, the blood, the fluids from the animals that have been drained, everything. There's now the blood of man, the blood of the beast, all mixed together, and things are getting fucking loud. I believe we're at the top of the round.
Correct.
Thomas goes first.
Thomas does go first.
Thomas goes first, having boom brained that one. His arm's still shaking, and that other guy trying to hit him. He goes for him. The second one. Boom. Same thing. Rolling a 19. That is a success.
Okay, I'm going to try and stop that from happening. I do not want a cleaver in my head. 81. Not enough.
Not enough?
So you have 1 degree of success over me.
Yeah, so this one, I'm coming in. I got to roll for hit location. 1, which I believe is the left leg, coming down, trying to, on his kneecap. This one, not on his kneecap, but on his leg, the meat of his thigh. Since I have a special effect, I am going to use the bleed special effect.
Got it.
So this is, I believe he has to do an endurance roll against my 19. He has to beat that.
I do not.
You do not. All right. Yeah, the meat cleaver comes down on this guy's leg. Boom! Chopping into the meat, almost down to the bone, and cutting a major blood vessel, doing 1d6 damage. He comes in for 2 points of damage, but it does enough to slice through, and the blood begins to flow.
So I believe on the next round.
On the next round,
he will inflict. He will have a level of fatigue inflicted on him.
Right,
which is not good.
Which is not good. It's not going to, I think, affect his rolls for the first level of fatigue. It's like maybe the second or third where that really starts kicking in.
Yes.
But for those of you out there watching this and not really understanding maybe how this system works, there's multiple ways you can die. You can take major wounds, which is basically like you take more than your total amount of hit points in the negative on a certain location, or you can bleed to death. And this is why getting a severed artery is really, really bad, because if he wants to stay in the fight, he can, but every round he's going to start taking on levels of fatigue, which means his skill ratings are going to drop precipitously. It gets harder and harder for him to fight as he's getting more and more tired and mixed up. And if he takes of all levels of fatigue that he has available, if he gets maximum fatigue, he dies because he has bled out. So this guy is in big trouble. Most of the time, if you're bleeding, and I'm going to leave obviously the roleplay of this character to you, most of the time, if you're bleeding, you got to treat the wound immediately or you're fucked. And once you treat the wound, you might stop the bleeding, but you're out of the fight anyway because you're going to reopen the wound if you don't.
Yep.
This is why Mithras is so awesome. This is not simply about me trying to reduce his hit points. This is getting tactical advantage and doing things in the combat that's going to take someone out, because now it's at least somewhat of a fair fight. We are teenagers. We are younger, being assaulted by these thugs, these criminal gangs. But now it's 2-on-2.
Correct. However, this is far more than they bargained for. Thomas has gone the leader, who is bleeding as well, having the impaled butcher's blade removed from his bicep, needs to take Aaron out of the situation or get out of there. But like I said, these are tight quarters, and so he's going in to try and take you out at any means necessary.
Ooh, 94.
This is not good. This
not good. Yeah. I got to remember to mark off my action point for Thomas. Aaron, however, seeing again that club coming in, seeing the intensity in this guy's eye, not going to let himself get his skull cracked open. Needs a 54 or below. 77. I do not succeed. So, the reason that I would do this is in Mithras, even if you parry a missed attack. He attacked me and missed. I can still parry him, and if I do well enough, I can get those special effects like bleed. There are certain defensive special effects that I can use against him. In this situation, though, it's a wash. Nothing happened.
Back! The man calls out, wanting to get out of this situation, possibly to come back later and with more numbers.
Yeah.
Who's to say?
I'm going to say, though, the way that I envisioned this at this point is that Aaron, they've come in. He tried to push past me. Aaron has the door, the front door is blocked by him, basically. They have to come past me. And on the other side of that, these other two guys are engaged with Thomas.
Correct.
There's a back way out, of course, but it's not going to be it's not simple to get out of here. These guys are in real trouble.
Right.
As are we.
And appropriately enough, it is Aaron's turn.
It is Aaron's turn. I got to mark off his action point for having tried to parry that attack. But again, there is no going back. You came into my house. You sick thieves. You feed upon the corpse of this city on this block. This is not happening any longer. It ends today. 60 is not enough. I missed my attack. My knife. What's going on? Is he parrying?
He is not parrying. Again, it's like I said, tight quarters. Your challenge, the horror of the situation, rage is boiling in this man as well. He's looking to conserve his strength, to barrel through you, to make an opening if he can. So, success or fail, he was not going to attempt to parry you.
Got it.
Meaning he has one action point left.
All right.
Well, the other one who is not hindered by the
We have
cleaver.
two. Well, I mean, you've got
Well,
you
the
got
one
one who got brained by the cleaver, and you've
who
got
essentially
one
cannot act.
Yeah, and you've got one who's bleeding now.
Correct. And we're all engaged together in this in here.
It's a tight. Yeah.
And he turns on at the hip to Aaron, moving
from behind.
Thomas. We got to get out of here.
Yeah. Aaron, you got a 10?
I did.
Damn. Okay. Whew. Aaron is going to try to defend, but he is defending from behind. This is going to impact his skill rating. This is a situational modifier that is really, really tough to overcome. Yeah, I think it is formidable, so it's half.
Okay.
Okay, so since he is defending from an opponent attacking from behind, this puts his skill rating at formidable, which is going to cut it in half. I have a 54, so I need to get a 27 or below to successfully parry this attack. And I got a 23.
Okay.
So I do manage to kind of turn and block this thing coming in.
And it was coming in at the back, the nape of your neck to lights out, but, well, Aaron is spry. Aaron is young, and
he's a young man, and he's got the intensity and the courage of a young man who is taking back his home.
Correct. The third man is in no position to do anything, and so top of the initiative order, and you have action, but Thomas does not have.
Thomas has one action point, I believe.
So then we are at Thomas.
Thomas, again, seeing him go after his brother, knowing this guy is brained on the side, this bleeding guy, he now is coming behind on that guy. Boom! It's like this train of madness and blades and violence coming in. Needs a 37 or below.
He is not going to defend.
67. He misses. He does not have a luck point to re-roll that.
Okay.
Again, it's just massive confusion. His knife slamming into the wood wall next to it.
Absolutely.
Pulling it back out. Yeah.
The paneling, the man mewling on the floor with the possibly spinal fluid, brain fluid oozing out, mixing with the blood, not only of pigs but of men as well. The leader, who opted not to defend against Aaron, he has an action point as well.
He's what is he doing? He's attacking Aaron?
He's attacking Aaron. As they are shouting, snarling, eager to get out of here and come back in a better situation.
Aaron cannot defend against this attack. Ooh.
9.
9. Okay.
Okay.
He gets 1 level of success on me.
The leader, the man, bleeding, oozing, blood coming down the arm and splattering on the flagstones here from the former impale. He is going to drop foe.
Ooh.
You need to make an endurance roll.
All right.
To avoid going unconscious.
Give me 1 second because I believe that drop foe is only for siege weapons.
Oh, I think you're right. I think you're right.
Yeah. He's not going to drop foe.
Let's take that back.
Yeah. It's staying in. This is how we're doing it. We're flying by the seat of our pants. We're trying to use the rules correctly, and we're finding out how to play the game right.
So, in that case, I'm going to choose location head.
Okay.
Which...
Great.
I need to get out of here.
This was the right time to rules lawyer.
Yes. All right. 2, 3 damage.
3 damage.
To the head.
To the dome. Fortunately for Thomas, he does have a thick skull. And while that does hurt, boom! Oh, it's not even enough to slow him down at this point.
Okay.
All right.
Does Aaron have any action points left?
No.
Okay.
Excuse me. You were attacking Aaron that time, right?
I was attacking Aaron.
Okay, yeah,
yes.
yeah. He was out of action points. Is this the top of the round?
No. We're almost going likely to the top of another round, I believe.
Yeah. Everyone's out of action points on my side.
Okay, then there's only one. Again, because he did not defend against Thomas coming in from behind, he has 1 more.
Okay.
And then we'll
and
be
he's going for Aaron.
He's going for Aaron. Try and get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh. 28.
Okay. 1 level of success.
Choose location.
Okay.
3, 2, 5.
5 damage. Okay, that's going to put me at -3. This is a serious wound.
To the head.
To the head. So I have to make an endurance roll against your
28.
You're against your 28.
My success.
Yeah. Or the same thing's going to happen to me that happened to that guy that I brained with the butcher cleaver.
Right.
Except that I'm going to go unconscious if I fail.
Correct.
All right. So my endurance, I got to look that up real quick. My endurance is a 31. 43. Boom! The club comes down. Ooh. Lights out. Aaron, having that knife, he's covered in blood. He's mixing it up with these guys. Just crumples to the ground. And lights out.
Thomas sees this from the back, possibly think he's 15 years old. You guys have not been in combat, not been to war.
You just killed my brother.
Exactly. And the rest of them, well, the 2 who are able to do anything, begin to move as if to get out of here. Right. The other one's still mewling on the ground, but they have not disengaged yet. We are at the top of the round. Everybody has expended their action points. It is Thomas first.
All right.
Your brother, and as far as you know, has just been murdered.
So Aaron is basically going to be out of the fight for the next 5 turns that he had, which is going to be basically a round and a half.
Correct.
He will be back shortly, but he's just lights out right now. So Thomas seeing this and being like essentially watching his brother potentially die and seeing them about to run, the rage boiling up in him, this hot-headed youth, like the color that had drained after he split the skull of the other guy. He's forgotten about him, and it's just beat f***ing red, and he screams, "F*** you!" and goes to chop him in the back, right in the back of the head. And he's also, since he has a love passion for his brother, which of course is not calculated here, but I believe is probably around, it's 30 plus, I believe, power. There's probably something I'm missing there, but we're going to call that a 41.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to roll that passion and see if I can get an additional 10 points on this skill.
Okay.
Rating. No. Okay, so that is
it's
not
more the rage is mixing in with the it's
and
absolute
fear.
confusion. The fear, and of course a teenage boy.
Yeah.
Just absolute, all of these emotions, love, fear, hatred, at the maximum, turned up to 11.
Right.
There's no focus. There's only like this atavistic reptile brain.
Right, exactly. He's coming in. He needs a 37 or below, I believe.
And I'm certainly going to try. I'm going to try and evade.
And you're behind. It's from behind.
Am.
Yeah. 45 is not enough.
So I'm still going to try and evade because that's what I would have done. I got a 2.
Okay.
Fortunately, I did not parry.
Right.
That would have been a critical.
But you did evade, but that means that you've lunged out of the way and you're on the ground. You're prone.
Yeah, he lunges out onto the street.
Yeah.
Which is what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Although if you chase him out there, he's in a bad situation.
Right.
But he dives for home out onto the flagstones. At this point, people have heard chaos, things breaking, people screaming. You see the door flying possibly off the hinges at this point with this man's desperate attempt to evade your bloodthirsty blow, intending to kill this man, to chop his head off with a cleaver. Womenfolk, children, aghast, horrified, older men looking about in absolute confusion, some with rage. You see your friend Eric turning about from his typical duties with absolute shock in the moment. What he'll do next, we'll see.
Right.
As that was you, the leader
running.
moves.
Yeah.
He disengages and is out the door, leaving a trail of blood as he goes, grabbing his arm as he does so, calling forth and just knocking people out of the way. No regard to the common folk here, showing his true colors, no doubt. They call themselves the almsgivers, but he puts a right elbow to a woman as she goes tumbling to the ground. That is what he does. Aaron, it is your turn.
It's Thomas. Yeah.
That's right.
Aaron is not getting up right now.
Then, the final man who dove to evade you. He still has an action point left. He is going to arise. He's going to get back to his feet. Now it is Thomas's turn.
And Thomas is running out, screaming in rage, and again, back of the head, trying to kill. Well, we'll see.
Okay,
if it's the
I'm
head,
out of action points at this point. I evaded, and then I got up from prone.
26. Okay.
Okay.
So a 26, and you cannot. That was a 6. And you cannot defend. So I get
Correct.
a level of special. I get a special effect on him. I'm going to roll hit location. Well, I'm going to choose my special effect first, which is going to be again choose location head on this guy because I want him to die. This is the guy who's bleeding already too.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. A 16 is going to be the right arm.
Okay.
It's coming in. Did
No,
I
you did-
choose location?
Yeah, you did choose location. So,
I did choose location.
So just roll your damage.
Oh yeah. Okay. I don't know why I think I was trying to stack maximize damage in my mind. But I do 3 damage coming in. Boom, hitting him in the back of the head.
It is not a serious wound for him.
Right.
But he feels that for sure as you take the cleaver, bring it down. He's rising up off the ground. You come in charging from behind. He turns at the last minute. A cleaver goes across the cheek, barely missing the left eyeball, down to the upper lip. Perhaps will leave a scar unless you can get some serious attention.
Yeah.
That was Thomas. Is that how many action points do you have
He
left?
is out of action points.
Out of action points. I am out of we're all out of action points.
Yep.
Well, the man who got out and had begun to flee continues.
Right.
Continues to
The
flee.
leader, the ringleader, is out and about.
Correct.
He's running.
So this does take us to the top of the round. The one guy who's still conscious, really, and able to defend himself, has not gotten away from Thomas.
Nor shall he.
And it is Thomas's turn. At the top of the round, all action points have been replenished.
All right. Once again, I am rolling for that passion.
Okay.
A 41. And I rolled a 90. God damn it. I just can't bring on that passion to love my brother. But he's going to attack him. He needs a 37 or below.
And I am going to attempt to parry.
And he gets a 25.
But
But remember, I am behind him, correct? Or is he turned to face me at this point?
I'm
Because
gonna
I
say
just hit him in the back of the head.
I'm going to say at this point, because he dove.
He can turn, yeah.
It's not you're not
Yeah.
behind him at this point, so we've essentially both.
All right. I
I'm
get a
cheating
degree
in
of-
your favor if I'm
Yeah,
cheating.
I once again, not doing the head. He's already bleeding. He also, I think at this point, has at least 1 level of fatigue. So his skills are all way down at this point.
Correct. Yeah, this would be the first.
This is probably the second round.
I think, it's the second round where it would matter,
right.
I believe.
Okay.
Third round since it happened.
So I am going to, this time, maximize damage on him.
Got it.
So I'll roll location. A 4 is going to put it at the right leg, which is going to do maximum damage of 6 points.
Okay.
Just coming in, boom!
That is a serious wound for me. I am significantly disadvantaged with the fatigue. I am at half my endurance level to make this in order to stay conscious at all.
Yeah. Not for conscious, but
to keep the leg from supporting my body weight at this point, to keep it from being useless, essentially. Not enough. As, well, describe what happens.
Yeah, I come in and I actually hit I'm right-handed. He's facing me. I come in and it comes down and it hits his inner thigh on his right leg. Boom! Just cuts, it nicks the bone as well.
And he just gasps.
Yeah, and like gouts of a gout of blood just boom. He immediately falls to the ground.
He goes to the ground.
He falls to the ground, crumpled. He is prone now. That was one action point. I don't know if guy that I brained earlier is awake, kind of recovered enough to get back in the fight, though. He could be behind me.
He is behind you, but he is not in any position yet to do anything. As this man is bleeding, rapidly bleeding out, you have at your mercy. He's technically still conscious, although, and this man is dying right in front of you. Also, something that you've never experienced before. He drops the cudgel. He falls to the ground with the pain. It rolls away, covered in blood at this point, both your brother's and his own. For sure, at this point, if nothing happens, he's going to die. In moments,
I am basically like I'm like out of breath by this point. Like the tears are already coming down, and it's just as I watch the life just leave this man's eyes, and I'm like shaking at this point.
And the other one has far gotten away at this point, is nowhere to be seen. And people looking out in shock.
And at this point, like it occurs to me, I look around, I see all the people, and I turn and I run back into the butcher shop. I have to know if my brother is dead or alive.
You look over your brother, who is completely unconscious. Do you have any healing?
I don't have healing. I have first aid.
Okay. You can certainly attempt that.
Okay. I will attempt some first aid on my brother, which I'm going to need a 31 or lower. 68. It's not enough. I don't know what to do. Like I'm struggling, and I'm just kind of like I've kind of picked him up, and I'm trying to like slap his face, you know, like wake up. But I don't know what to do.
And in that moment of absolute horror, tension, drama, is Aaron dead or is he not? Is he going to survive? You don't know what to do. Who do you even call? Who's here? And with that, as Thomas is holding Aaron, hoping that all will be well, we'll end it there.
All right. Well, that was a pretty intense scene, I would say. As you can see, we rolled everything live. We did our best to follow the rules as closely as we could. May have made some mistakes. I'm sure someone will point it out in the comments or whatnot, but we basically constructed a premise for this. We knew exactly what was gonna start the scene, and we're then just gonna play it out from there. That's one of the reasons that I was playing 2 characters, was in case one or the other died in combat, I would need another to continue playing. Yes. Otherwise, it'd be a very short scene. But this is the mythical city of Avaloch. It's like a mix between Jerusalem and Camelot. It's on the brink at the moment, though, because the king has been gone too long on crusade, and things are starting to fall apart. The men are gone. The young men, though, after this critical combat, know that Avaloch needs men, and they have to be the men now. And so this is the beginning of our little saga in Avaloch, which is going to be Shadows over Avaloch, the adventure in Cults of Zahak. Cults of Zahak is on Kickstarter right now. If you want to play a game like this, where you've got intense combat, things that are at stake. You've got a lot of tactical choice in combat and rules that really describe and bring to life what's happening in the moment. You're really going to want to check this out. You can get the Mithras Imperative rules for free. You see here we've also got Classic Fantasy from the design mechanism and Basic Role-Playing from Chaosium. These are both D100 systems. All of it's going to work with any D100 fantasy game. But this is not going to be the last that we see of Aaron and Thomas. We're going to continue doing this, and you're going to see that Avaloch has a lot of problems. Right now, we just got a taste of some of the criminal syndicates that are shaking people down for money, preying upon the weak moment that the city is having. But there's much, much more going on. There's religious conflict. There's factions. And beneath all of this, there's something much, much worse. There's something dark and supernatural that's gnawing at the city. It's a powder keg, and I think you're going to like it a lot.